power and history of manufacturing, and also does some work in documenting historical preservation and heritage. So lots of interesting things, and she'll introduce the panelists.
Great, hi everybody. Thanks for coming back after lunch. So, as said, I'm Sarah Fayen Scarlett. I'm an assistant professor in social sciences. And this keynote panel came out of a conversation that I had with Dr. Watkins last year. We met to discuss ways that we could start dialogues around campus about the intersections between history and current practice in the design of tools, objects for daily life, technological systems, and landscapes, all things sort of that I think we all share an interest in. And so I'm thrilled to be part of the D80 conference this year for my first time. It's been really nice to learn about the great projects that you all are engaged in and pursuing, and also to be here to introduce this great group of colleagues whose historical research I'm confident will resonate with the conference themes today. So, we are all faculty in the social sciences department, which isn't exactly what we intended when we set out to put this panel together. We didn't mean to seem like a group of social scientists coming in. We were really interested in pursuing conversations. So, so as I was introduced, I study the history of American design. So I'm interested in tools, things made with tools, both pre-industrial and post-industrial, buildings, towns, and cities. So it's no surprise, probably, that current ideas about human-centered design are of great interest to historians like me and like us. Because our past is riddled with stories of great triumphs, as well as dismal failures that demonstrate the importance of interpersonal relationships and mutual understanding between designers and communities of users. And so a dramatic example of this that has come to mind for me, and that we can use to help introduce our panel presentations today, is the Dymaxion house, which you see on screen, and which is this mysterious image that's been on our poster. It was designed by an engineer and inventor named Buckminster Fuller in the 20th century. So I'm going to tell you a short story about this. So in 1930, Fuller unveiled his proposed addition to the modernist endeavor in the realm of housing. This was the era when French architect Le Corbusier and others were kicking urban planning into high gear and advocating hyper-organized modernist megacities. Fuller designed a house that combined new materials and production capabilities with the need to efficiently house the booming populations in Europe and America. He combined his favorite words, dy from dynamic, max for maximum, and ION from tension to get the Dymaxion house. And the design itself expresses his ideals for perfect balance. The hexagonal and then later redesigned cylindrical domed house hung on wires suspended from a central pole. He designed a ventilation system based on louvers used in agricultural silos, which drew air out from the living spaces to reduce dust and improve health. He imagined a flexible interior based on a complex series of interlocking triangles that allowed inhabitants to easily move walls to accommodate changing needs. And this clearly previewed his work on the geodesic dome, which he's much better known for. This is a picture of him standing in front of it in the 1950s. So he reworked the Dymaxion house design in 1945 to help solve the post-World War II housing crunch that was being caused by returning GIs. And the prefabricated aluminum pieces could be produced in repurposed aircraft factories. Plus, they were light enough to be shipped anywhere in the country, making the whole house weigh about 3,000 pounds, which compared to estimates of the weight of our average American house today, which is 150 tons. Right. So the idea was that this house could be produced and shipped efficiently to a mass consumer base, assembled almost anywhere, and it would cost about as much as a Cadillac by some estimates, making it reasonably available to the mid-century American middle class. One of the sort of most amazing features about this house, just to get a little detail, was his patented bathroom unit, which was molded from just 4 pieces of stamped sheet metal. So apart from being efficient to manufacture, it could also be essentially hosed clean. The idea here was that there were not nooks and crannies where germs and dirt could accumulate. So it featured a toilet and a shower bath, and also an elevated small tub where grown-ups could bathe small children standing up, which seems especially interesting to me right now. Since I'm about to add another child to my daily bathing routine, it's that little part in the front there. So the Dymaxion House never went into production. And many have pointed out that Fuller did respond to the needs of modern families in terms of cost, fast construction almost anywhere, and flexible interior spaces. But his design also disregarded other practical and social factors. Americans wanted to customize their homes. Even in the cookie-cutter Levittown suburbs where little Cape Cod houses were lined up along sort of miles of cul-de-sacs, individuals altered, updated, and personalized their homes almost from the moment they were built. In fact, architectural change over time within American suburbia has actually been a pretty hot topic among architectural historians in the last couple of years. So we can look back at the Dymaxion House and see that despite Fuller's incredible creativity and regard for modernist production values, his houses just didn't allow for the kind of customization and or traditional spaces that Americans clearly craved. So today, our panel's presenting 3 other historical episodes of how change in the design of technology has happened, or not, right? And so as in this quick story of the Dymaxion House, these papers we're about to hear highlight the central role that human relationships play in the success or failure of designs in different time periods and locations. And specifically, we'll hear about the complexities that arise when professional experts from the outside purport to deliver an idealized solution to a given community, as was kind of the situation here. Dr. Jonathan Robbins' research suggests that 19th century designers largely failed in their efforts to create machines for extracting palm oil in West Africa because they did not account for cultural factors required to implement their designs. Dr. Laura Wallakainen-Rouleau, her paper brings this dynamic a little closer to home by examining the development of public restrooms in American cities around 1900. And her story reminds us that the negotiation of cultural expectations happens in our midst, often across boundaries of class and gender, and that we continue to live with the repercussions of past decisions today. And then Dr. Steve Walton traces the rise and fall of an idea known in the 20th century as appropriate design, the chauvinistic notion that outside specialists can perfect an ideal solution without considering the needs of communities. So essentially, we're looking at history to learn more about why human-centered design is so important today. And we're going to be, after our papers, we're going to be joined for some comments and the question and answer session by Dr. Carrie Henquinet, who's the director of the PCMI program and an anthropologist in the social sciences department. So we're going to ask if we can hold all of our questions from each paper until the end so we can talk with everyone at once.